Sure, I can help you with that. Here's an expanded version of the topic on international students in Canada working off campus for up to 24 hours a week, with added conversational style and natural back-channeling expressions, like you might hear in a YouTube video. #, understanding work opportunities for international students in Canada. If you're an international student in Canada, you're probably already aware that studying abroad can be a life-changing experience. But apart from getting your degree and experiencing a new culture, there's another perk to being a student here that you might want to know about: working while you study. Yeah, that's right. International students in Canada are allowed to work off campus, which is a huge advantage. But of course, there are some important details and rules to keep in mind. So, let's dive in and talk about what it means, how it works, and what you need to know to make the most out of your work opportunities in Canada. #1. Work permit and eligibility. First things first, let's talk about the legal side of things. For international students, working off campus requires a valid study permit. But don't worry, it's not like you have to apply for a separate work permit. If you meet certain conditions, your study permit already gives you the permission to work. I know, it can sound a little confusing at first, but yeah, essentially, as long as you're enrolled full-time at a designated learning institution, DLI, which is basically a school recognized by the Canadian government, you can work off campus. This applies to students studying at the post-secondary level, whether you're in college, university, or certain vocational programs. Oh, and you have to be in good standing with your school, so no skipping classes or failing courses, right? #2. Hours of work. 24 hours a week during school terms. Now, here's the important part. International students are allowed to work up to 24 hours per week during regular school terms. This is a game changer for a lot of students because it gives you a chance to earn some money while studying. But there's more to it, so let's break it down. During breaks, like summer and winter holidays, you're allowed to work full-time, meaning you can work 40 hours a week. This is awesome if you want to save up for the next semester or take advantage of the extra time off to earn some cash. During the school term, it's still 24 hours a week, and yeah, that's usually considered the standard, so no exceeding that limit. It's important to keep track of your hours because, well, violating the work limits could affect your status in Canada. Not to mention, it's not worth the risk, right? But here's something to keep in mind. These work hours are not guaranteed. I mean, you have to find the right job first, and then you can start working those 24 hours. But the cool part is, because there are so many opportunities, especially in big cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, you can find something that fits your schedule and your interests. I'll get to that in a minute, but first, let's talk about what counts as work. #3. What counts as off-campus work? Now, what exactly counts as off-campus work? Well, it's any type of job you do that's not directly related to your studies. So, if you're a student in a tech program and you get a job as a barista or a retail worker, that's considered off-campus work. On the other hand, if you get a job that's related to your course or program, like an internship, that's usually considered on-campus work or part of a co-op program. So, anything like waiting tables, working in a store, or even a position at a local restaurant or coffee shop. Yep, those are all examples of off-campus work. Oh, and another important point. You can't just start working for any employer. Your employer must be based in Canada, and the job itself has to be within the country as well. Simple enough, right? #4. Finding jobs in Canada as an international student. Okay, so you've got your study permit and the go-ahead to work up to 24 hours a week during the school term. But how do you actually find a job? Well, there are a ton of ways to look for work in Canada as an international student, and it's not as hard as it might seem at first. University or college job boards * most schools have job boards on their websites, where you can find both on-campus and off-campus job postings. So, yeah, definitely check that out first, especially if you're looking for something that fits your schedule. And often, these jobs are tailored to students, so they might have more flexible hours. Online job portals * websites like Indeed, Glassdoor, and Workopolis are popular platforms in Canada where employers post job openings. You can filter the search to specifically look for part-time jobs or entry-level positions, perfect for international students. Also, if you're in a big city, you can use apps like Job Bank and LinkedIn to network with people in your field. Networking * right? This is a big one. I can't emphasize enough how valuable networking can be. You never know when a friend, professor, or even someone you meet on the bus might know about a job opening. Canadians are pretty friendly and open, so it's worth making connections and keeping an eye out for word-of-mouth job opportunities. Local businesses * don't forget about the good old-fashioned walk-in. Sometimes, the best way to find work is to actually visit businesses around your area. If you walk into a cafe or store with your resume, you might just get a chance to talk to the manager in person and land the job on the spot. #5. Balancing work and study. Okay, so now you have a job, what next? You might be thinking, yeah, but how am I supposed to balance 24 hours of work and my schoolwork? It's a great question. And honestly, it depends on your personal time management skills. But I'll give you a few tips that might help. Create a schedule * you know how it is. Studying, assignments, exams, and work all competing for your attention. Having a clear schedule can save you a lot of stress. Try to break down your week and allocate specific time blocks for studying, working, and relaxing. Prioritize your health * don't burn yourself out. Yeah, the money's nice, but your health and study should come first. So, make sure you get enough sleep, eat well, and take breaks when needed. No job is worth sacrificing your mental or physical health. Use your time wisely * during those 24 hours of work per week. Try to focus on tasks that align with your goals. If you're working a part-time job, see if you can learn new skills that might benefit your future career. For example, if you're studying marketing and working in customer service, try to pick up transferable skills like communication and problem solving that will look great on your resume. #6. The benefits of working while studying in Canada. Now, why would you even want to work while studying? Besides the obvious financial benefits, there are several other advantages to balancing work and study. Financial support * the extra income can go a long way in helping you cover living expenses, tuition fees, and day-to-day costs. Plus, it gives you some financial independence, which is super valuable as an international student. Work experience. Working in Canada allows you to gain valuable Canadian work experience, which is something employers back home or in Canada really value. It can give you a competitive edge when applying for full-time jobs after graduation. Cultural immersion. Work gives you a chance to interact with locals, learn about Canadian culture, and make new friends. It's a great way to practice your English or French and integrate into your community. 7. Post-graduation work permit. Oh, and here's a bonus tip for those of you who are planning to stay in Canada after graduation. Working while you study might make it easier to apply for a post-graduation work permit PGWP. If you complete a program of study that's at least 8 months long at a recognized institution, you may be eligible for a PGWP, which lets you work full-time in Canada after graduation. This is a great way to gain more work experience and potentially qualify for permanent residency in Canada if that's something you're interested in.
Thanks for watching our video. Please hit the button and subscribe the channel.